All right, guys, let's talk about a massive mistake I see in almost every single business. And your marketing looks amazing on paper, but it's not converting into booked calls or even cash collected. And founders always think it's a marketing issue, but 9 times out of 10, it's actually a systems issue. But before we get into this, what is going on, guys? My name is John Magner. I've built and scaled multiple B2B sales teams across various industries, mainly in the service based and SaaS niche. And one thing that I can see is a lot of people are trying to focus on marketing, spending more money on marketing, thinking that's the issue. But if you have terrible systems, that's just a leak in the bucket. That if you're spending thousands of dollars a month on ads, it's only going to get worse the more you spend. And here's the truth. Most companies have great marketing, but terrible sales systems. You can have the best ads, the best creative, and the best funnels, but if your sales systems aren't in line with your marketing system, nothing converts. And marketing's job is simple: create attention. Sales job is simple: to convert that attention into cash. And when everything else falls apart, the gap is between the two. And this is why you can have great ad angles, good click through rate, solid CPMs, and strong landing pages, and still get zero conversions. So, these 5 places where the system breaks are going to be the 5 bottlenecks that destroy conversion, even with good marketing. Number one is speed to lead. If your team waits 10 minutes to even contact a lead, your conversion rate typically drops 80% instantly. And a lot of companies that I talk to, it takes hours for them to reach out to leads. Bottleneck number 2 is lead labeling and routing. And all the leads get dumped in the CRM with no labels: hot, warm, cold, or the source. So reps aren't able to prioritize anything, and they don't know who to call and which ones are the warm leads. Bottleneck number 3 is inconsistent sales rep behavior, because your reps aren't following a proven process. Some call fast, some don't. Some follow the framework, some don't. Some do follow up, some don't. And you can't scale chaos, you can only scale systems. If you know exactly where the issue is, that is what happens when you're able to predictably scale. But you're only able to see where the actual issues are if everyone is in unison, doing the same process, using the same framework, and all that stuff. Bottleneck number 4 is no follow-up system whatsoever. And this is probably the biggest leak that I see. Most companies are losing at least 50% of all possible revenue just from weak follow-up. Follow-up needs to be daily, it needs to be automated, multi-channel, needs to be scripted, needs to be required, and it ultimately needs to be tracked. And majority of businesses assume they just need to put more money into marketing, but they have a whole pipeline that they haven't even followed up with in months. And they're trying to figure out why they're unprofitable. But you have, maybe hundreds of leads that have only been contacted twice. I see a lot of sales teams, lead comes in, they call them the first day twice, and then they move them along. Maybe they call them another time a week later, but after that, they don't reach out. You got to be constantly following up with people, and it has to be multi-channel. You got to do calling, SMS, and email. And lastly, bottleneck number 5 is no alignment between the ads, the framework, and the offer. And this is the silent killer. Your marketing says one thing, your sales framework says something different, and your offer says something else. Biggest thing that I do to fix this is to get perfect alignment. You got to have every department sync up. Product development, you got to have marketing and sales all need to be in one room and work together. Typically, when I'm training sales reps, they're able to see the customer's point of view. They see which ads they're seeing, what the copy looks like, what the creative looks like, what the funnel looks like, so that they know how to actually handle the conversations. Because if you're giving people a ring and they're just saying, hey man, you filled out a Facebook form, it's like you need to be a lot more informational and you got to be a lot more specific. Instead, it's like, hey man, looks like you bought our low ticket for solving X, Y, and Z. how is that going for you? See how that's way more specific than saying, hey man, you came in through our Facebook ad, because people fill out, many Facebook ads before. But most importantly, if the sales reps are saying something different than what's on the ad, the prospect is going to think that it's a bait and switch, and prospects don't buy when it's a bait and switch. That just turns off sales resistance. So this is going to be the biggest bottleneck. And good marketing can't fix bad sales systems. And this is what nobody tells you in the online space. Good marketing amplifies good systems, but good marketing also amplifies your bad systems. If your backend is broken, great ads will just lose you more and more money. And the fix to all of this is to build a direct response sales system. You need your entire acquisition funnel aligned. Ads, landing page, qualification form, scripts, CRM, follow-up, pipeline stages, and sales manager oversight all needs to be aligned. And when everything speaks the same language, conversion skyrockets. So the truth is, your marketing isn't broken, your systems are. If you fix the back end, the front end becomes insanely profitable. And this is exactly what we install inside the 10-day sales infrastructure system. DM me Scale for more information.